Hey, it's Sherry. I'm out on the pickleball court, and let's talk about some of the common injuries we see here, why they happen, how to prevent them. Cool? We're going to talk about the foot, the calf, the knee, hamstring, hip, low back, shoulders. All right? I'll be quick. It'll be a nice, fast, mad rambling, and I'm going to give you some free resources on how to fix all this stuff and make sure it never happens and you can play pain-free pickleball. All right? Let's start at the foot. All right? It's not super sexy to talk about the feet, but the feet are the foundation of everything. If I go on the pickleball court and I see somebody with wonky feet, I know they probably got some type of pain upstream. All right? So if the foot is turned out and you lose the arch in your foot, all right, you can see what happens. The shin bone goes in, the knee goes in, right? So because of weak feet and wonky ankles, we now are going to have problems upstream in the knee, right? The hamstring, the hip, or the low back. So the first thing we want to train is feet straight. Honor the natural arch and stack those ankle bones so the arch always stays there. So that's point one right there, feet straight. We're going to do that. Let's move to the calves, all right? Some of the common things we see with the calves is the same problem. We lose that arch in the foot, we load the inside edge as we drive, and it messes up the calf, all right? We get some type of strain back there. Or, worse yet, an Achilles or heel cord injury. And that usually happens on a back step. So if you step back, drive through the heel, and put all that force there, the pressure's on the heel cord and the Achilles can start to tear or rupture. All right? So we're going to strengthen the outside edge of the calves and the outside edge of the foot. We're going to make sure that the heels never drop, train for this, strengthen this, so then when you're out on the pickleball court, that doesn't collapse and we don't put pressure on the heel cord and calves. All right? Let's talk about the knees. Very common with the knees, again, is our wonky feet. Also, heel striking. All right, if I see somebody out on the pickleball court that's heel striking here, right, I know that probably that knee and that foot is going to have some type of issues. All right, so one of the things we want to do is we want to be more back chain dominant. What's that mean? We want to have that thigh bone back. Good athletic position. Take a look at any of the pros or anybody while they're dinking, right? They're back into here, and they sit back into those haunches, into those hips, all right? So the more we're back here, the more it's going to take pressure off of that knee, all right? Better posture, better patterns equals less pain, all right? Cool. What else are we talking about? Knees, hamstrings. Hamstrings are interesting, usually leaving the ground. So if knees are, in general, is when we land on the ground, right? We land on the ground, wonky is the knees. Leaving the ground is the hamstrings, all right? So as they leave the ground, what happens is the thigh bone often gets stuck inside that hip socket, and boom, a hamstring tear happens, all right? Or hamstring injury. So one of the things we want to do is get the thigh bone moving again. Why is the thigh bone stuck? Why we sit 10 hours a day, all right? We're on our laptop, our cell phones, we're driving. And so that thigh bone gets stuck, and so we want to have training where the thigh bone is just moving inside that hip socket so you have more access to your hamstrings, more access to your glutes and your back chain, all right? And they don't get strained. Cool. Low back. Guess what? All this stuff is starting to connect. Now our feet are straight, our ankle bones are high. Now we're back chain dominant. Right? Boom. So now we're bending in that back chain. Our spine's long and strong and not compressed when we're moving, right? For somebody who's going to round that low back and compress when they're playing, all right? So decompression is huge. First thing in the morning, you want to decompress that body after a long night's sleep. If you've sat for over an hour, we want to get 5 minutes of decompression in. I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So decompressing that spine is huge. Hey, let's go to shoulders, all right? Shoulders are interesting. What happens is, again, we're sitting 10 hours a day, right? And what happens? We're in this forward slump position, all right? Boom. The shoulders are forward, the head's forward, the neck's forward. We're typing, we're driving, right? And then what happens is everything in that scapular, that upper back becomes weak and overstretched, all right? Almost all shoulder injuries come from weak scap stabilizers, all right? You have those shoulder blades, no scapula, and they're supposed to move freely back there, and they're supposed to be strong. So training postures, positions, right, that get those shoulder blades back and start to strengthen them is key. All right, there's a handful of movements that we can do, and then we can just get that shoulder blade gliding again. All right, so you have more range of motion, you have more freedom in there. All right, awesome. Hey, thanks for listening. I'm going to drop a free resource in comments where you can go and learn how to recode your postures, your positions, and your patterns to pain-free pickleball. All right? I love playing this game. When I closed my gym last summer, I started playing, and I want to help more people play pain-free for the rest of their life. So talk soon. Much love.